Hello guys, today we will be talking about the Activision and Microsoft acquisition finally, or the Activision Blizzard King acquisition. I don't know how I didn't talk about this, maybe because I felt like we talked about this for many years now, even though it's just been 1.5. But anyways, how are you guys doing? This is Video Game Homies, but with one homie, and today we will be talking about the Activision Blizzard, like I said before. God, I'm bad at intros. Anyways, we will be talking about the lovely, the amazing fact that Microsoft finally bought Activision Blizzard. Finally, the stupid thing is done. That's it. That's all. No more like, oh, it's been blocked by the CMA and all that stupid stuff. Thank God it's finally done. Tried and true. Let's get into it. Microsoft has finalized its $68.7 billion deal to acquire Activision Blizzard, the publisher of Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Diablo. The Verge exclusively reported last week that Microsoft was planning to close today. And now it's official. The acquisition required 20 months of battles with regulators in the UK and US. Microsoft has closed its Activision Blizzard deal after defeating the FTC in a US federal court and restructuring the deal to appease the Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, in the UK. Okay, sorry guys, that was like a slog to get through because A, that was a lot for one goddamn read, and then B, it is hot as a motherfucker here, so I am like sweating up a storm. But anyways, pretty much what it's saying there is that finally it is finalized. That's it. It's just no more blocking, no more anything. They have finally come to a conclusion. And it is finally the fact that, Microsoft has acquired Activision. Finally. In 20 months, I swear to God, it felt like it was like 2 years. And almost, pretty much, 4 months away from being 2 years. But yeah, so that's great. It's about time, man. I mean, you see, I wouldn't really have an issue, or I would probably have an issue with Microsoft purchasing them if it wasn't for the fact that, Microsoft usually doesn't really get into the, the whole thing with, oh, we're going to only put this on Xbox and blah, blah, blah. They never really did that with games that people actually like, right? So if you look at Minecraft, nope, they're still putting it on more platforms today, Like, hell, even when Microsoft bought them, they still put it on the Wii U back in 2015 or 16, right? So it's like Microsoft isn't really the one to stop games from coming onto other platforms. Now, if Sony owned Activision... yeah, like that's never gonna happen. But if Sony ever bought them, then we would be in trouble. I would rather Activision go to someone like Microsoft who actually did have any experience in gaming, rather than it could have went to someone else, not Sony, because obviously Sony can't afford them. I'm talking about it could have went to Apple, it could have went to Facebook, it literally could have went to anyone who whoever you think couldn't be worse than Microsoft, they could be. Right? So there you go. We're lucky on that one.
Now let's read this lovely tweet from Phil Spencer himself. Today is a good day to play. We officially welcome Activision Blizzard King to Team Xbox. Together we'll create stories and experiences that brings players together. In a culture empowering everyone to have their best work and celebrate diverse perspectives.
All right. So there's not really much to comment on with that tweet, but I just want to talk about real quick, because we just covered that right now. But I just want to talk about real quick the absolute amount of salt that came from the PlayStation fanboys with this tweet. Look, I understand that Microsoft is a complete joke when it comes to a lot of stuff, but honestly, when it comes to owning companies, I would rather them own it than Sony or even Nintendo, really. And these dumb Nintendo and PlayStation fanboys are so salty. Well, not Nintendo, really, with this situation specifically, but with PlayStation, oh yeah, they are. Even though that, they're still going to keep their Activision Blizzard games on their platforms, it doesn't matter. The fact that Microsoft has a W in any way, shape, or form, that's a problem for the stupid fanboys who are not even personally affected by this at all. Microsoft now plans to add many of Activision Blizzard's games to Xbox Game Pass. Today, we start the work to bring beloved Activision, Blizzard, and King franchises to Game Pass and other platforms, says Spencer. We'll share more about when you could expect to play in the coming months. We know you're excited, and we are too. Activision Blizzard made it clear earlier this week that Modern Warfare 3 and Diablo 4 won't be coming to Xbox Game Pass this year, though. Microsoft hasn't provided an update on Xbox Game Pass subscription numbers since announcing 25 million subscribers, alongside the original Activision Blizzard deal announcement in January 2022. So this pretty much says what we already know, like Activision's newer games like Diablo 4 and Modern Warfare 3 or any new Call of Duty will not be coming to Game Pass, unfortunately. In fact, all the Call of Duties are still not on Game Pass. Unfortunately, they're coming slowly but surely, the older ones. But yeah, Modern Warfare 3, don't really get your hopes up on it coming anytime soon. So yeah, which is, again, something we already know. So yeah, oh well. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick will remain in place to help with the transition until the end of 2023. I have long said that I am fully committed to helping with the transition, says Kotick in an email to Activision Blizzard employees today. Phil Spencer has asked me to stay on as CEO of ABK, reporting to him, and we have agreed that I will do that through the end of 2023. We both look forward to working together on a smooth integration for our teams and players. So Bobby Kotick will still be staying as CEO, huh? I'm so pissed at Microsoft because they should honestly have him as the leader instead of Phil Spencer. Look, I'm sorry, but Phil gotta go, okay? He has done nothing but ruin the Xbox brand, honest to God. And I kind of feel like someone like Bobby Kotick, who actually put something like Activision back when it was bankrupt, when he put it back in business, I kind of feel like he would be perfect for Xbox. Not to mention that he actually did a fantastic job with managing games and actually getting them the fuck out. Unlike, the management at Microsoft. Let's be honest here. It hasn't been an easy deal to finalize for Microsoft. Yeah, you can say that again. The CMA initially blocked the deal in the UK over cloud concerns months after the FTC initially sued the block the Activision Blizzard acquisition in the US. After the FTC then failed to secure a primarily injunction to block Microsoft from finalizing its Activision Blizzard acquisition. The CMA and Microsoft instantly agreed to pause their legal battles for a remedy in the UK and eventually negotiated an agreement over cloud gaming rights. All right, so we all know what happened there. Basically, they were concerned about Microsoft possibly having a monopoly on cloud gaming, even though that's not going to be, a thing until 10 years later, at least the only way of experiencing it, right? So what would be wrong with them taking advantage of that now, I don't understand. I get that, people might just go to Microsoft because they had the whatever deals on there. But it's okay, if that's the consumer's choice, then that's their choice. I mean, I don't really know what the deal was. And again, cloud gaming is not a thing yet, so you can't really make a block on a assumption, right? It doesn't make any sense. Plus, there was a lot of ways around it. It's just that the FTC was really a bunch of Sony fanboys, essentially. Not really, but you know what I mean. And they just wanted to give, the big American company their comeuppance. I don't know, something like that. The FTC appealed the decision in the case and says it will continue to appeal. Microsoft and Activision's new agreement with Ubisoft presents a whole new facet to the merger that will affect American consumers, which the FTC will access as part of its ongoing administration proceeding. Spokesperson Victoria Graham said, according to Reuters, the FTC continues to believe this deal is a threat to competition. All right, so that is the final part of the of the article, and I gotta say, this whole thing to threat to competition type of deal, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Look, Microsoft isn't even close to owning the whole gaming industry, okay? Like, really, I guess people are forgetting the fact that mobile is bigger than consoles, like, ever has been, right? And the fact that there's PC, and the fact that even if they own half of the major gaming studios, that's not stopping people from making video games. People could use Unity and Unreal Engine. Literally anyone can make their own video game. A monopoly would be an example of what Nintendo did back in the 80s, where people were not allowed to make games for another platform, on their platform if they made games on another platform, So that basically kind of forced people to stay on the Nintendo Entertainment System and not able to branch out to other ones until, obviously laws about that changed, to thank God, right? So, yeah, no, that's a monopoly. Not what Microsoft is doing. Acquiring Activision is not a monopoly. The funny thing is that if Sony did the same thing, they would not care at all. In fact, everybody would congratulate Sony. Oh my God, Sony has made another great move for PlayStation. Even though I honestly do not understand the Microsoft bias, There is a bias towards Microsoft. If Microsoft does something, it's a danger to gaming. If Sony does something, it's A-okay. I mean, even though that Sony had online for free and now they're making you pay for it, meanwhile, Microsoft never gave you online for free. So I don't know. And then now that Sony is making PlayStation Plus and everything more, no one's commenting on that. Almost no one is. Nowhere near as much as Microsoft, right? When the Xbox did that back in 2020, rightfully so, they got called out for it. Now, where's that same energy towards Sony right now, right? It's like everything is a joke, honestly. But anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.